Okay lads, I just realised that I forgot something here, and that is that if we look over here you'll see we've got icons in here. So I'm going to show you in this video the difference between making buttons by itself with text and buttons with icons. It's been a while, so bear with me. I'm going to show you how to do that step by step. So I'm going to basically do these buttons again. The starting of this is the same as the previous video. If you know how to do it, you can just follow it through. If we have icons, it means that we'll have to basically reduce the size of the text itself, or reduce what we say. So rather than saying about us page, just keep it simple and put about us. But in this example, because we've got the name of the icons, I'm going to use them as the name of my buttons. So the first one I'm going to do is home. So I'm going to call this one simply home. So I'm going to go inside here and just type in home. And because I need space for the icon, I'm going to have it go onto the left hand side. So I'm going to click here. There we go, perfect. And that leaves a nice little area here for the icon to go into. So the first thing I need to do now is to get the icons. I'm going to go here and go to open, file and open. Find the icon. So I'm going to go back to my folder. And find in the assets folder the home icon button. There it is, and press open. Now the reason why I'm opening it first separately so that I can get the number for it, as you can see 100 there and 81. I'm going to keep that in mind, and I'm just going to drag it across from one tab to this tab over here and throw it in here. Okay, now fortunately they don't have anything in the background of this icon, but if they did, all you'd have to do is basically use the magic wand here, select the background and press delete on the keyboard. When I say delete, I mean the button that actually says the word delete, not the backspace. So I'm not happy with this right now, purely because it's still too small. I mean too large. It's not really fitting in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the size a little bit here. So I'm going to make this 90 width and make this 70 height. And then we'll push this here. And I'm not happy with the color scheme either. So I'm going to basically get this color here. So I'm going to just use a picker here. There we go. And the color's gone in. I'm going to use a bucket and just fill it in there. And now if you can't go in, zoom in. Control and plus lets you zoom in. Or you can also go here to zoom in as well. The reason why zooming in makes it easier so that you can see it and get those little bits. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more to be precise, because you do get extra marks for this. There we go. That little bit there. Okay, that's it. That'll do. Zoom out. And I'm happy with that. I'm also going to add the same design that I have here, the filter, on here as well. So this was, I believe, no, not you. Let's have a look. There we go. So it matches it precisely, perfectly done. And I'm going to save this. So file, save as, and I'm going to just replace the home page too. Yes, I want to save that. There we go, done. And let's do the other ones as well. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete all of these and do these again. I'm going to go back into my folder just so there's no confusion, and I'm going to delete all these apart from the new home page 2. There we go. So I've got one there. So going back here, so that's home, first one done. Now because I've got an icon, it's better to get the version 2s done straight away. Notice how in the other one I made all the 1s then all the 2s, but because we've got an icon here, it makes sense to do the 2s and then do the second button, then the third button, and if there's a fourth button. So I'm going to do 3 buttons just for the sake of time, and because everything's set, I'm just reverse the colors very simply. So, or if it's easier, just change the color. You don't need to do anything else. So I'm going to click here, get the color picker, and go on top of there. And that's it, simple. Okay. Now that is enough, to be honest. And you can then say, you know, if you had time, I would have reversed the colors and added the blue inside. But you don't really necessarily have to. But if you feel like you want to, yeah, if you absolutely feel like you need to, that is, and you have the time, then by all means fill it in. I'm going to keep it as that simple. File, save as, and I'm going to go here and put this as, actually I'm going to put that as a 2. So I'm going to put 2 there. Yeah. Save, done. I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to change this one to a 1. Now, the color doesn't really matter, it's up to you. So go version 1, version 2, done. I'm going to show you what that looks like. In here, insert image, objects, roll over image. I'm going to find version 1, done. And before I put the second one in, I'm going to just realize I've forgotten to change this to a 2, not a 22. There we go, perfect. Go back in here, get the second one. There it is, press OK. And the reason why I changed the name first rather than afterwards is because once you've put it in Dreamweaver and then you change the item afterwards, it won't recognize it and therefore it won't work. So you changed it first before you use it. Fill in the alternate text and then type this in as well. Home button. Simple. Done. And then I'm going to save this and show you the difference. There you go. Okay. So you do that 3 times. So I'm going to show you one more time just so you can see what I would do now, because obviously you've got this here, don't you? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the color back in here. So I'm going to undo, Control and Z, brings the color back in from before, just because it's easier than filling it in again. And I'm going to go inside here and change the name. And best way to do that is ask yourself what the next image is. Now I've given you 4 options here. Pick the 3 that you want. Home button always comes first. You never ever leave that out. In the exam, if they've got 4 icons, you use all 4. But in this practice, I just want you to do 2. So I'm going to do football next. So I'm going to go in here, double click, change that to football. Done. And I'm going to go over here and just remember the number that we use for this here. So you see I put 90 and 70. In fact, I'm going to make a little note, 90 and 70. And I'm just going to go and open it up. Now I don't need this one anymore, so I can cross that off. Say no to that. File, open, and we're going to find football. There it is. And you'll see the numbers aren't correct. So what I could do is go back here, 90, 70. While it's still open, just type that in 90 and go in here and put 70. There we go. And then drag that in. And the reason why I'm going to drag that in is so that I know exactly where it's supposed to go. There. And then what you can do is up here you can see bring forward, send back. I'm going to send it back so the house comes in front. Click away, click on the house, press delete, and then this is in the perfect spot. It's in exactly the same location as the home icon was. All that's left now is to fill it in orange and put the same filter in. So I'm going to put the filter in first, in there, and I think it's inset. Yes, it is. And then I'm going to basically zoom in, Control plus. Oh, computer's frozen. Just give it a second. If that doesn't work, just go in here. There we go. Get the bucket, pick the color, and just start to use a bucket and fill in the colors that you want. Oop, undo. I need to zoom in a bit more just so I can be precise. There we go. A little bit there, there. Too much. To the top. There we go. That's it. Control and minus to zoom out, and there you go. That's fine. I'm happy with that. File, save as, and we're going to put this as football 1. Okay, same as that. And then all I have to do now is use a bucket, fill the background, because that's what I did with the other one. File, save as, and just put football 2. I just realized I should have really put an L there and page. So I'll do that now. Going back to the folder, and there's nothing stopping you from making changes if you made a mistake like I have done here, because I haven't used it yet. It's best to change or fix any spelling mistakes before you use it. So there you go, that's done. And again, come back over here, insert image objects, roll over image, get the football page button, there it is, say no to that, get the second one, there it is, say no to that, football button, make sure you filled in the alternate text for the higher marks, third one in. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is going to just pause the video, do the last one, and show you the end result. Okay, so now I've got all three buttons in here. You can see you've got the same style, same layout, same color scheme, and all I have to do is just have a little test here, refresh the page, and you can see they're all there with the icons, with the color scheme that matches the logo as well. So this is really, really important, lads, that ladies and gents, that you do have the icons in there, especially if they show it to you. So make sure you use them. Now you don't have to have the same effects that I have done here. You can see that I've got this embossed style here, purely because when you put the mouse over it, I didn't need to change the colors again. You can see the writing still there, even though the color scheme is exactly the same when it changes over. Really, it's up to you. You can blur it out. And as I said, to be honest, unless they say you need to be interactive, you can keep it as a one single picture, as long as you have the text and the icon in there.